Hey guys, Justin here, going on a little overnighter. Got my girlfriend Steph with me, and I'm really excited for this one because we're gonna be maximizing comfort. We brought a whole bunch of gear. We're doing a lot of different things in order to be as comfortable as possible while hiking and at camp. One of the big considerations for being comfortable on a backpacking trip is your pack weight. My pack's around 25 pounds on this trip, and Steph's is at
around 26, I'd say.
26 pounds. But we find that 25 to 30 pound range to be kind of the optimal to be comfortable on trail. Anything more than 30 pounds, it starts to feel a little bit heavy on the hips and shoulders, and under 25 pounds is just kind of too easy. So what we like to do is we get all of our essentials together, the tent, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, we pack that, and then we start adding different comfort items that we'll actually show you once we get to camp. But we add those comfort items until we get to that 25 to 30 pound range. There's not a whole lot else that we do in order to be comfortable on the trail. We make sure we're wearing the right clothing. I like to wear long sleeve pants and shirts in order to protect myself from the glaring sun like we have today. We also like to use hiking poles. Hiking poles just help take some of the load off your knees and legs, as well as make it a little bit easier to do watercourse crossings. The other thing that we do to maximize comfort is we keep the hike pretty short. We like to get to camp and really enjoy camp life. So this hike's only about 7 or 8 kilometers, which is the kind of the sweet spot for us. We're gonna finish this hike off and we'll show you how we maximize comfort at camp. So we made it to the campground, the beautiful Ray Lake. We got a nice fire pit over there. First things first, gotta get our yummy pale ales into the creek so that they cool off, so we have a nice tasty treat after we set up camp. And then once we get everything set up, we'll start showing you some of the other comfort items that we brought with us. We went all out on this trip. So we got the tent all set up and the sleep system's inside the tent. The tent's super roomy and the sleep system is super comfortable. Like I said, just show you guys all of that a little bit later. Right now we got our beers out of the creek, having a nice cold one, and we got our chair and tables all set up. If you're going on a super comfortable backpacking trip, chairs, you gotta bring them at a minimum. But if you wanna get super luxury, then you gotta throw the table in there as well. Just really nice for putting your stuff on there, place to store your wine, your beer, and then if you wanna play a little game of crib, then you can do that as well. We brought a really nice bottle of red wine in this Platy Preserve. So this is what I recommend if you wanna bring wine on a backpacking trip. I'll post links to the Platy Preserve, chair, table, everything that I talk about today in the video description, so go check that out. We're only gonna have a little bit of the wine here because we have a really yummy dinner plan. That's another thing, if you're gonna go on a comfort trip, you gotta eat well. Steph is really good at pairing wine and food. Go check her on Instagram, Steph the Sommelier, but she picked a really yummy wine to pair with the meal that we got going on tonight. Another thing that we like to do in order to be super comfortable when backpacking is have change of clothes. So right now I'm wearing my hiking clothes still, but Steph is changing into her camp clothes. It's nice to have a clean set of camp clothes once you get into camp. And if you're comfort camping, then you're probably gonna be sitting around camp a little bit. So you wanna have some clothes in order to keep warm. In order to accomplish that, let's have Steph model here with her toque or beanie if you're in the US, just to keep your head warm. And then having a nice fleece, nice comfy fleece as a mid layer. You can wear just that, or if it is a little bit colder, you can throw on a puffy jacket. Steph's wearing a nice down puffy jacket there. And then on the legs, Steph's changed into some camp tights. I like to have fleece pants. And then the best part of the entire thing are the camp booties. So it's nice to have some sandals, which I'm wearing, or you can grab some camp booties if your feet run a little bit cold. So time for dinner. Really excited for today's dinner. We have some Bushka meals here. So this is a risotto, creamy risotto with wild boar. And then we have a unstuffed pepper with bison. So really looking forward to these ones. Got to get 24 ounces of water boiling here. So get that going. And Steph brought a white one, and we have the red here that we're gonna pair with those because they'll both pair with each meal separately. All right, so we got a boil going here, and pour into each of these. Look at these, there's a ton of awesome vegetables. These look delicious. So we'll get some water in there. And what's really nice with these is you only need to let them sit for 3 minutes before they're ready. So pour the water in, give them a little stir, let them sit for 3 minutes, and then we'll have some delicious meals that we'll talk about a little bit later with the wine. So the meals are all set. Actually super awesome how quickly these meals prepare with you only need to wait 3 minutes, which if you're in a rush, if you're a through hiker or something, 3 minutes for a meal to get ready if you're really hungry is awesome. And then we got our white wine and our red wine.
So after first initial tastings here, both go well with both, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I'd say we agreed that the Sauvignon Blanc is a great pairing for both and probably the ideal pairing.
If you're gonna be going on a comfort trip, treat yourself. Bring a couple bottles of wine, bring some delicious meals, and you're gonna have a good time. And having a campfire just makes things that much more cozy and comfortable. We're gonna enjoy the campfire, finish off the wine that we got going here, and then head to bed. Tomorrow morning, I'll show you our tent and sleep system. I've been keeping that a little bit of a secret because I think it's the most important thing for being comfortable when you're backcountry camping is making sure that you have a nice tent and a comfortable sleep system. Good morning, guys. Had a really good sleep last night, but that's mostly thanks to the sleep system. Waking up to some really beautiful views here of Ray Lake. And then we're gonna go check out that tent right through the trees there because it's a really nice tent and I've been really happy with it. So the tent that I've been using for comfort trips with 2 people is the Durston X-Mid 2-person tent. So this is a really roomy tent. That's one of my favorite things about it. It's also really easy to set up. It only takes 4 tent stakes, which is unheard of for a tent, especially a trekking pole tent. But then once you get inside, you can fit 2 25-inch wide sleeping pads in it, and that's really uncommon for a 2-person tent. Now looking at our sleep systems, Steph and I actually have similar but different sleep systems. So I like to use a quilt. A quilt just facilitates tossing and turning a lot more. I can use the pad straps on it to lock it down onto the sleeping pad here, and then I can just toss and turn just like I'm underneath my blanket at home. I find that if I try to toss and turn with a sleeping bag, I get all twisted up in it and it's just not as comfortable for me. But Steph, she has a sleeping bag over there and she loves a sleeping bag. She just loves being cocooned inside of her sleeping bag over the course of the night. And we both have pillows. She has a pillow over there that she actually tucks inside the hood of her sleeping bag, and that's the way that she likes to enjoy it. She doesn't need a pad strap or anything. Whereas I have the Trekology 2.0 pillow here. It has a pad strap. It locks it right down onto the sleeping pad. And then I used my thin EVA foam sit pad here in order to raise the pillow up a little bit because I find the Trekology just a little bit too short. So this just raises it up so that I don't get any neck cranks over the course of the night. And then we're both using super comfortable sleeping pads. These are probably the 2 most comfortable sleeping pads on the market. I have here the Nemo Tensor insulated, really comfy one. And then Steph has an even comfier sleeping pad with the Etherlite XT, and this is the Etherlite XT Extreme version. It is quite a bit warmer than the insulated version, and it's good down to winter temperatures, but we figured we're in spring still, so we'd bring this one for us to make sure she's warm. And the reason why this one's so comfy is because of the air sprung technology. So that means there's these little connectors going through the sleeping pad, and it creates these dimples, which alleviate pressure points really well. And the Tensor kind of has these, but not quite to the same capacity as the Etherlite XT. It just does it a little bit better. If you guys are interested in my full ultra comfort gear list, I'll post a link to that right up in the corner there. Go check that out. That has all of the gear that I bring in order to be comfortable on the trail.